good because we just had some time off and we're getting back into here. So let's go ahead and do a roll call. I'll start with Nancy. Present. Eleanor. Present. Raquel. Present. Mike. Present. Stacy. We're all here. In attendance, Dr. Vitale is out sick today, so we have the wonderful Dr. McIntyre filling in. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So everybody can stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Item 2C, public report of action taken in closed session. The board approved a settlement agreement by the parties in OAH case number 202-405-1032 with a 5-0 vote to meet the student's needs. The student will enroll in a CBE certified non-public school for the 2025-26 school year. The governing board approves the placement of the student in an NPS, reimbursement to parents of NPS enrollment fees, direct payment of independent educational evaluations, and student attorney fees. All right, moving on to item 2D, approval of agenda. I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Don't all jump at once. All right, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to item 3, reports. I'll turn it over to Dr. McIntyre to do the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Beaton. So we had a quick celebration that we want to acknowledge one of our administrators yesterday. Dr. Vitale and a group of our administrators went to Lincoln Middle School. We did that to congratulate Alicia Johal, the assistant principal at Lincoln Middle School, for being selected as the 2025 CAPEL Co-Administrator of the Year, which is the California Association for Asian and Pacific Leaders in Education. Alicia will receive her award at the 2025 convention, where she will also be presenting a session to support students. Congratulations to Alicia.
Alicia here. Right, congratulations. It's all about good news today. So we're on item 3B. I'm excited to announce we're gonna celebrate our new National Board Certified Teachers and then all our National Board Certified Teachers. But before I do that, we have a special guest tonight. We have Rick Shea. Where's Rick? Raise your hand there, Rick. There he is. He's our esteemed guest. He's from the San Diego County Office of Education Board. He was elected in 2015, and he's still on the board now, almost 10 years later. He represents District 5, which runs along the coast from Del Mar to Camp Pendleton, and it's some of the North County inland areas. He's held so many different, I didn't know all this when I started reading your bio, right? But he's held several public offices. He started out as a classroom teacher for the juvenile courts and the juvenile probation officer. And then in 2021, he served as president of the California County Board of Education. He's super active in his community and Encinitas. He's been on the Encinitas City Council and mayor as well. So, and he has a lot of things he's been doing. He lives in Encinitas, and he's been in his district area for more than 40 years. So thank you, Rick, for coming. I'm going to invite you up to the podium. Okay. To say a few words to our National Board Certified Teachers, which are all sitting up front. You can take the mic off.
Congratulations.
gonna fix you. That way everyone can hear you.
Yeah, but on the county board so long, I don't need a microphone, we used to just yap. So, but I'll do this so it makes it better. But you know, and this is to the general public, the American system puts the public in charge of all of our institutions, federal, state, local, and there really is no more important elected position than school boards, because they're the only elected official that is in charge of children. Everyone else is the adults. And so that's why it's the most important position. I'm really pleased to congratulate the board members and to congratulate and honor our new nationally certified board teachers. I'm going to say a few words about that for the general public who might not be too knowledgeable how complicated it is and what an honor it is. Sometimes when you see board certified people, you go to your physician, every once in a while you'll see board certified, you know? And that means in addition to the medical school training and everything else, he or she has been selected as expert in the field, documented by people in the field. So that's a similar thing to what we have with our board certified teachers. And the teachers are so important because they are the ones that have direct contact with our children all the time. But, so the process, these teachers have completed a rigorous process demonstrating advanced teaching skills, knowledge in their chosen subject area, earning professional certification and recognized across the United States, signifying their high level of teaching competency. The certification requires passing 4 components, including their content knowledge of test and portfolio-based assessments, showcasing their teaching practices in the classroom. It's a highly transformative process in professional development. It's long, intense, time-consuming, and it is voluntary. The certification directly benefits the students in the classroom. The road to obtaining this is very challenging. The process requires nearly 400 hours of time and effort. And so I congratulate all of you. Congratulations. Now I'd like to turn it over to Stacy, who is also a board certified teacher.
It's contagious. Anyways. And Vice President Raquel Alvarez helped me. We have some gift bags for our newly board certified. So Oceanside Unified is recognizing 9 newly certified national board certified teachers. And we also have 4 that have also recently renewed their certification. The certification lasts 5 years. These educators, and some of them are school counselors, join more than 8,761 teachers in the state of California that are board certified at this point. Right now we're at 4% of our staff is board certified at this point, and we're working to have more of them. It's a really exciting time. The governor's budget proposal is also looking to extend the subsidy for people to become board certified to pay for the process, but they're also looking at extending the incentive for national board certified teachers to stay at schools that in the most high priority schools. So we're going to go ahead and start out. I don't want to be confusing and put people on the spot, but I want to celebrate your accomplishments. So I'm just going to call your name and have you come to the podium. We're going to give you a gift and a certificate. And then if you would, just tell us one thing you got out of the national board process. So just one thing, not 10 words. And we'll go ahead and we're going to start with Alicia Vignala. If you want to come up with your hand. She's from Woodside Elementary, and she's a generalist middle childhood. So you gotta go on the mic.
I didn't say that at all. Okay, one thing I learned from this process was just really digging deep into my teaching and how important what I do on a day-to-day basis and affects the students, and being able to improve my own practice based on what I was working on through national boards has really helped me to just really intentionally look at my teaching and what I'm doing. on a day-to-day basis, so.
Thank you, Felicia. And then if you would come up here and get a certificate, we're going to have you stand over here where I am, because Donald would like to get a nice picture of you guys. All right, next is Erica Fairweather, South Oceanside Elementary School Counselor, and Mom of the Year.
I think one thing that I learned from this process was kind of piggybacking off what she said, just diving deeper into being a better counselor, looking at data to use that to be meaningful to improve like the overall well-being on campus and increase the student outcomes at school.
Excellent. Next we have and Carissa Gleason is next from Poolside Elementary, Maryland's middle school.
So I wasn't expecting to talk. Wow, so many things I learned. I learned to be a better reflective teacher. I learned to look at my students in a different lens. I learned to look at myself in a different lens. I learned to look at what we're asked to teach and how to teach it. I learned to, most importantly, just really think long and hard about the lives in which we touch every day.
Next we have Erin Grable from El Camino High School, Career Technical Education.
So I know it's a process where you take a look at yourself, but I also took a look at all the people that surround me and the team that I work with. So I was able to depend on Stacy and also the other teachers to kind of see me through. So it's kind of a team member.
Congratulations. Next is Natalie Kuchis, School Counselor from Delaware Elementary.
The thing that stands out to me most, I would say, is the reflective question of how do I know and how can I prove that my work is meaningful and effective? Thank you.
Alright, another school counselor, Jira Romasan from Elementary. I had so much fun meeting with the school counselors. I know so much more about what they do for our students. It's amazing.
Something that was that I had learned through all of the rigorous processes is just how much support that we have at our school to service students, and the importance of working together as with my team as a counselor and with my staff, and it's just what an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Emily Schutz from Nichols Elementary, another school counselor.
Something I learned through this process was that I always have the support of multiple people in the district, not just my fellow school counselors and board certified teachers, but also district personnel and the people at my school. And like Natalie said, really diving into how do I know that I'm making impact, and how can I improve the lives of all of my students across the campus.
Thank you. Our next National Board Certified Teacher, I don't think he's here. His name is Jack Strossall. He teaches mathematics at El Camino High School. So we'll give him a round of applause and maybe we can get Aaron to take his certificate. All right. Our next teacher is from El Camino High School, Carrie Targetta. English Language and Arts.
So the national board process really helped me, you really get to see on the absolute individual level, all the way, some macro, micro level of how everything works and how it comes together, and that was a meaningful process. Thank you.
So these are our newly certified National Board Certified Teachers. So we're gonna have Donald take a picture of you guys, but then I have some more to introduce. Can we get one with good shape? I didn't take a photo of it. All right, and you guys can go sit down. Let's give them a big hand. Awesome. So once you become board certified, and you do all that work, and then 5 years later, you can do what's called maintenance of certificate and renew your certification and go through a process that's similar but very reflective. And we had several teachers go through that this year and renew their certification. So the first one is not here. Her name is Meredith McCain, and she's from Laurel Elementary. Let's give her a hand. And we have Samantha Tickham. Do you want to come on up?
So the maintenance is a little bit different. Do not record this thing. Sorry, the husband came. It's a little bit different. So what I took away was a much more diversified PLC, not just on my campus, but across the globe, really, about my content area.
Thank you. And then we have another renewed, and her name is Diane Williams. Is she here tonight? I don't think she can make it. And she is from Laurel Elementary as well. So let's give her a big hand. Renew their certification. And then I have a big favor to ask. There are a lot of National Board Certified Teachers in our district, and our district actually supports the process. They have contract language that helps teachers get into the process, pay for some of the assessment fees, and also a financial incentive once they become board certified. So Oceanside supports National Board Certification, and in my spare time, I love working with our National Board Certified teachers and candidates. We have over 30 candidates right now, somewhere in the process. So inside those little gift bags, there's also a schedule of when they meet. And we call these meetups. Sometimes they need encouragement. You guys have been there. They need a pat on the back. They need someone to read their work and say good job or give them some feedback. So if you would like to join me at any of those, please join me. I also wanted to say that I'm hoping that with all of this accomplishment, don't stop there. Continue your lifelong learning and feel free to inspire others to go through this process as well. So I just want to say congratulations and thank you for everything. And any MBCT that's in the room right now, would you please stand up because we have some experienced ones. There we go. All you guys stand up. Thank you guys for all your hard work. I appreciate you. And then I know you guys are busy, so please stay or go. Thank you. All right. Moving back to the boring part of the meeting. No, I'm just kidding. We're at item 3C, board reports. Do we have any board reports since we just got back? No from Nancy. Eleanor, do you have anything you'd like to share? Nope. Okay, no board reports. They've all been submitted to Ann. All right, moving on to item 3D. Is Mr. Chuck Joy here? Oh, it's Marissa. Excellent. All right, this is our labor partner report, and this is CSCA Chapter 370.
Thank you. Yes, Chuck is sick, so I was asked like 4 hours ago to give a speech. So happy New Year to everyone here. And sorry. I still have a brain fog from the break. So giving honor to the board president, superintendent, trustees, cabinet, and all attendees here. I'm the second vice president for the CSCA union. My president is under the weather.
I would like to spotlight some things that CSCA has been doing. Number one, we had an amazing Christmas celebration on December 19th. We had a great turnout. People were able to engage with members from all sites and just have fun. We had a photo booth donated by Guy, the photo booth guy. We had games and prizes. We had lots of food donated by Jersey Mike's and Chick-fil-A. We were able to buy pizzas, chips, and drinks from Costco, thanks to the generosity of Schools First Credit Union. American Fidelity donated gift cards, cookies, and shared lots of information. Grand Canyon University was also there and brought nothing but for dessert. Horace Mann Insurance brought drinks, Equitable raffled off gift cards, and our very own Nathan Cargill, which is the theater person at Oceanside, was the DJ extraordinaire. It was a wonderful year-end event. Thank you to Chavez Middle School for allowing us to use your multipurpose room and their wonderful staff for their hospitality. Number two, we'd like to take the time to spotlight our Nutrition Services family. Nutrition Services Department is made up of a team of food and nutrition professionals who support learning by promoting healthy eating habits. All meals served in our school's cafeterias meet state and federal dietary guidelines and provide students with access to a variety of affordable and appealing foods that meet their health and nutrition needs. They are definitely one of our unsung heroes. They feed our students every day. They plan nutritious meals. They engage with our students every day. They interact with families to make sure students with allergies get their proper nutrition. Thank you so much to our Nutrition Services families. Number three, our MUP team is working very hard to focus on member unity. They supported and helped plan our Christmas event. Our next event is coming up in March. We're hoping that it'll be a bowling event after work. I think that's the 21st of March. I'm sure it'll be a success. We work very hard to plan these events, and we'd love to share more about them in the future. Thank you all for your support of the classified and certificated members of OUSD. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Marissa. All right, and our other labor partner, Oceanside Teachers Association, they are sick as well under the weather, so they have no report. So moving on, we're moving on to the public comments section of our agenda. We have 3 public comments. I just wanted to point out we have a public video and photography section over in the corner. You can video from your seat, but just don't come up and block our view because we want to make sure the speaker, we can hear them. Just a reminder of our norms. We're going to use respectful language. We're going to be respectful of all speakers. We're not going to cause disruptions, and we're going to adhere to the time limit that is up there. I just wanted to point out, if you have questions, we're not going to answer your questions, but when public comment wraps up, if the board feels like asking those questions to staff, we may ask for clarification of staff. So I don't want you to spend your 3 minutes waiting for a response to a question. So I'm going to go ahead and call up M. Callie for our first speaker tonight. Happy New Year. Yeah, and I have you speaking on items J, K, N, and O, and they're all related to Palo Top. Does that sound right? Okay, super.
I just want to start with that there is an active Williams complaint and appeals with CDE regarding Pablo Talk. This is the second time we've had a Williams complaint reach the appeals process with the CDE. A school where classrooms serve as the only shelter for students, as there's currently no NPR. And this is an experience we're now also getting to expect for next year as my child is off to Jefferson. The website website though, it's not updated, so please, if you could get on that, because you have the signs outside of Jefferson, nice, beautiful new signs. You know, speaking of signs, the janky sign outside of Pablo Talk, and then you go to the district office and you see the new buildings being built. And you see those beautiful bright signs at the district office, where there's no kids, and there's an abundance of signs. And I've been here talking about signs since the beginning. And Pablo Talk has one sign, and that janky sign has an emergency contact number that is not in service. Why is any number there to contact an emergency other than 911? It's very clear where your priorities are lying between your different construction projects, and I hope that y'all take that into consideration. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your concerns. Our next speaker is Emily Richmond. Have you? Emily, I have you speaking on item E and M. Does that sound right? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes, thank you. This is on the warrant list, and I'm talking about the Equity Collaborative, $30,000. It mentions the words are equity, implicit bias, cultural responses, things that we've heard since 2020, 21, 2022, 2023, 2024, and now 2025. And since I've been going to board meetings for the last few years, I have not seen the transparency as far as your assessment on these equity. I think there was one way back in 21 or something, 20, when you did the initial equity that everybody knew about, and Eleanor said it's nothing new that we didn't know. And so kudos to her to say that, because we did know. We do know the neighborhoods. We do know the kids, those of us that have been here for a while. And so that was another, who knows how much. But that Equity Collaborative, again, I asked some staff, haven't you been there and done that? And they go, yeah. Some of the examples I got was the grading for equity. And if you can see what I read the last meeting, that it's not working. So here we go with equity in education again. And we're going to do the same thing. So I did email Dr. Sparks to ask him the questions about the assessment, what your outcome's going to be, what you're going to be doing with that. As I understand, Maisha gives an excellent presentation about equity, about all this stuff. And I'm surprised that you don't use her more in your presentations, because she's got it all. I don't know why you're spending $30,000 as a school board member instead of in the classroom. And again, our teachers are gaining great information from all the things that they've been doing. So maybe this is just another layer of their time and effort. Also, too, I was trying to find out who these people are, Equity Collaborative. I couldn't get to that. Are they psychologists, psychoanalysts? Are they academics? Are they mathematicians? Are they reading specialists? Because that goes hand in hand with all this that you're trying to do. Many years ago, we didn't have problems with kids not going to school. We didn't have any of that. And back in the old days, 35 years ago, our little ones wanted to come to school. They were, because it was such a welcoming environment. They had their breakfast, they had their lunch, they had teachers who knew about their family situation. And even because of some of those situations which haven't changed now, that the kids were successful. They started to read, they started to do math. So every year, by the third grade, they were all done. Not done, but they were into that process. So they were learners, and they wanted to more. So they got to middle school, that continued. When they got to high school, that continued. So we didn't want the problem that we have now, that they don't see the relevance of it. B, again, the extensions for Public Talk, August 30th of 2025. Is that really going to be done this next school year?
For your concerns and comments, Emily. All right, our last speaker on agenda items is Rebecca Ing. Rebecca, I have you speaking on item B. Is that correct? Perfect. Happy New Year. Yes.
The Williams complaints, the information that has been sent out by the board is that you've had so many, 14 I think, and that they've been completed. That is incorrect. I have to start reading them off. Didn't feel that that would be useful because I don't feel like the words are going anywhere. about meetings and communications with different people that have concerns, and that wasn't done. And their results are saying what parts weren't complete and what parts were complete. I also have a Williams complaint from September of 24. Just spoke to Mark about it again, because I handed it to many of you, and he remembers bringing that to a higher person and thought it was. The Department of Education has not heard from you on it. I will ask again, who was responsible for putting 400 plus children, staff, and families in a multi-purpose room that was structurally unsound? Someone knew this between the board, construction, and allowed that building to be occupied while completely unsafe, later to be shut down. And I don't know how you sleep at night knowing that's been done. It wasn't done by yourself. Someone sitting next to you knew about it and allowed it. And there's still not a response. So I would greatly appreciate if that September of 24 complaint would get answered. I also saw the difference of the signage, and there's nothing equal about what the district is doing for themselves. I know that you won't have an earth mover go in front of a 4-year-old child like you did at Pablo Talk, because you've got proper signs, you've got all the fencing up, so I'm so glad you're protecting yourself. I just wish you would give the children as much as you give yourself. And as the dates change, so now the beginning of next school year, children at Pablo Talk are going to go with it incomplete. Then Jefferson, here we go. I would like to be a part of and have those communications that the Department of Education has recommended as we step into Jefferson as well. I'd like to be part of that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I'm looking at my colleagues. Do you guys have any questions of staff about anything? I'm a little curious. Jordy, can you shed some light on the Equity Collaborative?
Sure. The Equity Collaborative is a nonprofit group of former teachers and administrators who provide professional development and coaching specifically to our equity lead learners at each of our 22 sites.
Thank you. And then I have you have a question?
The funding source is out of a title grant that was set aside to support the equity lead learners at each site. So the money already designated for this purpose.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. And then I have a question for Dr. Norman. Is it possible to take a look at the signage at Pablo Talk versus the district?
Sure, no problem.
Okay. All right. Moving on to general consent items, item 5. I'll make a motion to approve the general consent items. Do I have a second? The first and the second. Do we have any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving the general consent items, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to personnel. Turn it over to you, Dr. McIntyre.
Thank you, Dr. Begin. It's HR night here. This is item 6A, and this is the creation of what's the title is driver trainer. We currently don't have a driver trainer. We have what's called a school bus driver / instructor. So in doing some research, we've created a new class specification. It's a one person. We currently have a person that's qualified for this and will take this position. So the amount of this agenda item is 1, to create this new classification, and 2, to create a pay salary structure that will be at range 32 on the classified salary schedule. The cost increase is about $1,000 annually out of general budget.
Thank you for that clarification. Do we have any questions for Dr. McIntyre? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve. Okay.
We do. So this will be what will be a reclassification promotion for one of our own internal employees. Right. So this will be a full-time trainer that they do have in the job job description, they can also be a driver because that's part of it, but they are actually a dedicated full-time trainer so that we can get more of our newly hired staff training to go through the comprehensive program with CHP training, as well as renewals.
Item 6A, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to 6B.
Great. This is the approval of the salary reallocation for the nutrition services manager. We did an analysis of the responsibilities and scope and found that it was in need of an adjustment. So with this, in our analysis, based on the level of responsibility and oversight of management for operations, we're recommending a reallocation go from range 8 to range 11 on the salary schedule. This is federally funded, so it does not affect our general education budget.
All right. Any questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and a second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving item 6B, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to 7, policy development. Are you taking that too?
I'm taking them all.
All right.
Keep it rolling. So policy development, approval revisions for board policy of bargaining units. Effectively, this is new language from SBCA for the contract. The summary is basically that it works as you have board policy, and then this clarifies that above board policy is contract language, and then above contract language is ed code and state law. So this just gives clarification to how the process works when, if something were to be contested as to what trumps what, this gives clarification on that.
All right. Any questions for staff? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? You have a first and a second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving item 7A, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to 7B.
Right, 7B is, again, this is a new policy for employee safety, and it affects all groups. It's going in congruence with the new law on nonviolence prevention program. It gives us the board policy as we create this new system to support safety of employees in the district.
Right, any questions for staff? Seeing no questions, I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second? All right, we have a first and a second. I'll call for the vote. All in favor of approving item 7B, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. McAteer. Moving on to item 8, public comments on non-agenda items.
We have a total of 3, and they will be in this order. M. Callie, Rebecca Ing, and Janice Holoka.
All right, it looks like some of the same people, so I'm not going to belabor. You guys know the rules, so.
Speaking of the rules, I hesitate to stand here and speak. The last time I did, which was 2 meetings ago, my message was not received accurately based on the letter that I received signed from the board. This is one of the many reasons that I believe these meetings should be more accessible with recordings made available. While my concerns about the words I have said being misinterpreted are quite serious, more serious is what y'all sent me. And Raquel, I mean, I've known you for years, working through this drama as drama mama, through the theater company that my child lives to be a part of this. And you signing that just blasted my respect. For you, the board, to take what little time you have to meet each month to draft, sign, and send me this letter, it's concerning. I mean, you make a bold claim, an assertion of a very serious nature that I understand should involve police intervention. Yet at the end of the letter, you state, the district anticipates your cooperation and hopes future action regarding this issue will be unnecessary. So why send me a letter and make such insane assertions? It's reckless and it's retaliation. Do you actually send letters like this when you think somebody is making a valid threat or concern? It's flabbergasting if you do. I'm not going to read the assertion that the board made, as I never made such claims, so I want to be crystal clear here. I expressed concerns that our school sites are not prepared for it if it occurs. since we've had other horrible results of bullying already occur in the past year with such young child. Some of the work that I do at Maricosta College as a student leader involves meeting with local police departments and running drills so that they can see the gaps in their preparedness. Something I'm well aware from those experiences is not actively occurring at OUSD, and I was bringing it to your attention. I will be demanding that you retract that statement that you sent me because there was no basis for it, and still no request has been made to understand my last comment. You give us 3 minutes to talk at you, not to converse, to talk at you. It's not my fault if you don't understand the words I'm saying.
Thank you for your comments.
A non-agenda item in Southern California is a huge word, evacuation. Pablo Talks evacuation plan still remains unclear. We've met with DSA, an inspection, and with Moss, with the people that are in charge of that. There's a back area that is supposed to be the evacuation area, but instead it's being used for construction staging. What we were told, and this was months ago, that that would be ready for students, and that the other path, all these plans, nothing is clear what is going to happen at Pablo Talk. And now, on top of us, there's a lot of evacuations happening. And I would hope in the next 24, 48 hours that the board would make it clear where students, faculty are to go in an emergency at that school. And there needs to be more than one possibility. Because of the fire the fourth day, we already experienced that the primary source can be unavailable, and that is why there's alternatives. And if the alternative is full of construction, equipment, staging, then what is the point of having it? Please, for the children, for all the staff people, you honor all these people, but you disrespect them. And the most important area is their own safety. I don't know how, truly don't know how I'll be asleep at night. Thank you.
Thank you for your concerns.
First, I would like to congratulate Naisha Whittam on being recognized as the Outstanding African American Educator, as mentioned at the December board meeting. I attended a conference workshop she presented at, and I was very impressed with her knowledge and passion. Having also met other exceptional OUSD staff members, I'm left questioning why their expertise and insights do not seem to be translating into measurable positive outcomes for students. Additionally, I question the funds spent to retain outside service providers instead of having staff. For example, the purchase order listing includes $30,000 for the Equity Collaborative, separate to the around $290,000 contract with NCRC. Therefore, I question what specific services or training are the outside service providers being contracted to provide? And most importantly, how will the effectiveness of these services be measured? Particularly as the district does not seem to be providing equitable access to education and equitable support for every child. Because when considering CAS testing results, multiple reports of bullying across various school sites, including bullying that resulted in a death by suicide, a failure to properly address an elementary school student threatening to shoot another student, persistent issues in special education, and the district's failure to engage meaningfully with parents and community members, including but not limited to Pablo Talk families. It seems evident that the district is failing short in its obligation to provide equitable access to education for every child.
And also the school district's inability to ensure a safe physical school environment at Pablo Talk is unacceptable. Students cannot learn effectively if they do not feel safe. The board's most fundamental obligation and fiduciary duty is to protect the children under its care. This responsibility includes investigating and addressing incidences of bullying and harassment, as well as mitigating foreseeable dangers related to the construction and operation of school premises. Furthermore, each board member should recognize that a lack of action, inaction, is in itself a form of action. This extends to addressing claims made against individual board members. And pursuant to Education Code 35161, the board is ultimately accountable for the performance of all delegated duties, including those assigned to the superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is that our last speaker? All right, so public comment is done. We're moving on to item 9, adjournment. I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 5:49 p.m.
Question, just wanted to,
Oh, sure.
if we could follow up on the evacuation routes from Pablo Talk, just with fires and all of that.
And made a list that I'm giving to Todd. Okay, we're on the same page. Excellent. So I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 5:49 p.m. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next month. Take care.